Hi, this is Dan Gookin. This is video 186 where I talk about installing memory. I'm assuming that you already opened up the computer case properly, that you have the memory you need to install, and that the memory is proper for your computer. And you'll find out in a second whether you've done your homework and got the right memory, because I'll tell you what, there's a lot of different formats, sizes, shapes. Nothing is more depressing than opening up a computer and trying to install a new memory bank and finding out that it doesn't fit. I know. I have a drawer full of memory banks. Anyway, I'm going to show you on this computer. I'm probably going to show you a little later, again, as I take a motherboard out, because it's hard to see in there. And you're going to find this out when you do memory. Memory can be replaced, but it is often not the easiest thing, because like on this computer, there's this ganglia of cables that's sitting right in front of where those memory banks plug in. So it's going to be a little bit tedious to get in there. It can be done, but it's tedious. Let me walk you through it twice. It's hard to see the memory in here because it's all behind these cables, but there is one bank already installed way back under here. He's right here, and he's in a blue slot. Now, on this computer, I have to put an equal bank, so this is a 1 gigabyte. I'm going to put another 1 gigabyte card right in this slot here. I've already taken the card out of its protective static bag. I am grounding myself, and now I'm going to reach over and stick this into the slot, putting one end in first and the second end in second. So I'm going to do it at kind of at an angle and gently push it in on both ends. Now there's clips on the end. This one clip on the bottom is just going to be a bear to get in because it's right next to that video card. And I'll push it down snug, and the thing snaps into place. Now let me show you that again, but I'm going to take the motherboard out of the computer for you so you can actually see what it is I was doing in there when I stuck that SIM in. This motherboard is actually outside the computer so that you can see it with the light and everything. There are 2 DIMM slots on this, and I'm going to first start by lining up the DIMM. Remember, the DIMM has keys on it so that there's a notch here and a notch here, and there's a notch here and a notch here. And you'll be able to see that on your own computer. You want to line all that up. You want to get them in on this slot on the ends first, and then work it down in there. I generally will press down on one end first, like this top end here, and then the other end. And if you do it right, these little tabs on the end are going to close. Otherwise, you just lift up the tabs like I would on this side, and that'll push it down in. When the tabs close all the way, that is your clue that the memory is fully seated in that socket. Oh, I tell you what, nothing aggravates me more than installing memory, just because memory to me is so precious, and you're dealing with something that's very thin and seems to be so fragile. If there's one spot the computer design could be improved, it's really making those memory cards more accessible, and some of the higher end computers actually do have memory slots and adapters that are right up close where you can actually see them. Just make sure that you get that thing seated in properly, that it's clipped down. They do have to be all the way in. If you turn on your computer and the memory is not fully into the slot, the DIMM's not sitting in that slot, it will not recognize the memory, or your computer may error on startup. If so, go ahead and try to seat that memory again. You probably didn't fry the chip. If you did, you're going to need to get another one. But the joy of all this is that once you get those DIMMs in there and you add the memory to your computer, you have a computer with more memory, which of course makes running programs a lot faster and helps you get things done.